Hello to all you amazing starseeds. There are certain people that you will encounter in your life who are never fully satisfied with what they've been given. They always want more. They're always chasing the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. All right? And you will feel that when you're around them. Because there's almost like this dark cloud that encircles them, and they're not able to be present with you. Because they're addicted to the chaos. They're addicted to the storms. Those people don't mean to lack gratitude. They don't mean it. It's an unconscious behavioral program that stems back to trauma that they never resolved. So if, say, something happened in their childhood that really traumatized them, which a lot of us have been through, they just swept it under a carpet, never got help for it, never integrated that energy or what they needed to learn from that experience or the healing that needed to take place. And so it gets deeply buried within their DNA. And so what happens is they're always chasing the next thing because they don't want to face that. That's the best way I can explain it. Right? They're constantly escaping that because they don't want to face that. So how can they be content if they're not comfortable in their own skin? All right? Now, you're not necessarily going to get contaminated if you're around people who are always chasing the dragon. If you've developed a strong immunity to those energies and you stand firm in all that you are and you embody truth, then you may not get contaminated. But I have found that self-love is about not subjecting ourselves to those mentalities of always wanting more, because it's exhausting to be around someone like that. All right? We don't fault them. Again, they have to go through all this to eventually come to some sort of awakening or deeper understanding or realization. All right? Those people are the people who are still chasing the dragon. And what they will have a tendency to do is, because they're not facing the deeper issue, they will constantly recreate the same energy within a different scenario. So it will appear as though they're manifesting new realities, when in fact they're not new at all. It's really just a different episode of the same season. Or it's a rerun with a different package, with a different wrapping paper. So say you have a man who is not in appreciation for the love that he shares with his wife. Okay, maybe he's not able to consciously communicate or come to resolutions. Well, eventually he'll get tired of her because he's not paying attention to the greater lesson. And then he'll meet someone new, and it's that initial honeymoon, that buzz, like, oh my God, I'm on cloud nine, I've met someone new, my life is so much better now. And then when the buzz dies off, then he'll find himself in the same situation again. Because he never resolved that energy that was stuck in his body. That traumatic event that took place, that lodged within his subconscious. And if we don't program our subconscious, if we're not in the driver's seat, well, our realities are going to get created for us. And those realities aren't always going to be the best ones because they're created by the trauma and everything that comes with that. They're created with other things too, but with that as well. So if we don't get in tune with our spirit, right, the subconscious is linked to the spirit world. If we don't get in tune with all those traumas that have lodged themselves into our unconscious or subconscious, we will always chase the dragon. People who are grateful have uncovered that the entire universe is inside of them. They understand that now because they've been through the ringer. So they get that. So they have a deeper understanding that nothing outside of them is going to come save the day. Nothing outside of them is going to come save the day. Because everything that exists, has ever existed, and will exist lies within. Including the field of infinite possibilities. What might have happened, what could have happened, what may happen, all of that lies inside. And my friends make fun of me because I don't travel a lot. I want to. Don't get me wrong, I want to. But it's because we can travel within. It's interstellar travel. It's kind of like when you ask your friend, do you want Chinese tonight or do you want pizza? Or a friend asks you, do you want Chinese or you want pizza? And you go, I think I'm feeling Chinese. Well, from that time that they ask you to now, you traveled to the pizza and what that would look like, and you're like, that's not sitting well with me right now. And then you travel to the Chinese, and you're like, that feels good. That's time travel. We don't know that we have this ability, but we do. And I'll get into that more in another video when I talk about trapping systems within the astral realm. Now, there are those people I'm talking about, I call them the awakened ones. A lot of you have awakened, or maybe you still have aspects that are unawakened, and you're still hoping that that right person is going to come along and save the day, or you're hoping that you're going to land the right job and everything's going to be fine and perfect then. But that's not the case. The truth is the gold is right under our feet, and we cannot see that if we're not grateful for what we have. When we're grateful for what we have, more of what we want to experience shows up. That's what I've learned. When you're grateful for what you have, more of what you desire shows up. And that's because you're not lacking anything. You're not looking for something outside anymore. You don't have an attachment. You feel so filled with spirit. And you would be qualified as what I like to call a dragon rider. You're riding your inner dragon. So the unawakened ones who are never satisfied and keep replicating the same freaking scenarios over and over again, being in that loop cycle, they're chasing the dragon. Those who have awakened are riding their inner dragon. And the best way I can describe this inner dragon is it's like a rhythmic space of grace. It's a melody that you hear within. And I also like to call it the heartbeat of New Earth, of the 5D Earth and above. Because the 5D Earth is an organic grid system. It's who we are. It's our divine template. That's who we are. But what happened was humanity was hijacked. Our DNA was degraded because there was this other third dimensional artificial system that was superimposed upon the organic one. So think of it as like a sphere. The organic system, everything flows, there's a rhythm, there's that inner dragon, you're flowing with life because you're connected to all the other realms, all the other dimensions, and you're able to follow that timing, right? It's like, do you guys know what, like a metronome? And you follow that, right? You might be on the road driving and someone wants to enter your lane and you're like, yeah, go ahead. And you're following that rhythm. That's rhythm. That's the inner dragon. Well, if you think of the 5D Earth as the organic matrix, well, when they created the clock, when they created time as opposed to timing, divine timing, well, it threw us off balance completely. Because all of a sudden we have to run to work, we have to go do this, blah, 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 blah. And that completely disconnects us from that harmonic resonance, from that melodic resonance. Completely. It threw us off. It knocked us off our stool, if you will. All right? But now that we're remembering who we are, we're starting to find that sweet space of grace within, which is the inner dragon. And then we create from inside out, not from the outside in. We're not looking, oh, I need this to be happy. I need that to be happy. I need this to be... That's gone. That's out the door. That's not a fifth dimensional mindset. A fifth dimensional mentality is a vibrational existence. Vibrational meaning light and sound, and you're following it all. Okay? And I'm telling you guys, it takes a lot of work when people tell you, life is super easy now, I'm enlightened. That's not true. That's BS. Honestly, the work never ends. The difference is the work isn't going on out there in the physical density world, it's going on inside. So you'll meditate a lot. You'll keep cracking these codes. You'll keep unveiling things. But your physical world, because you've already activated the fifth dimension, the sixth dimension, the seventh dimension, the eighth dimension, you've become a galactic being. Well, the third dimension is really easy to navigate. You know what I mean? That's the best way I can explain it. But the work never ends. It will never end. Because we're constantly learning. This is Earth School. And so it's not only Earth School, it's a multi-dimensional Earth. So it's a multiverse school. Because Earth has gone quantum now. And that's my point. There's a split between the two worlds. And the 3D Earth is still caught in that mentality of like, its inhabitants, I should say, is we need this to get validated. We need to get married to be happy. And the 5D mentality is, I am happy. I am grateful. And because you are, your inner dragon starts to take you to the most amazing, unimaginable places and spaces. Because you're not attached to what's out there anymore. Do you want to experience things? Of course you want to experience things. That's why you're here. But you can also experience all those realities psychically, through your clairvoyance, through your interstellar travel, and so on. That's why you may not feel a need to travel much when you meditate a lot, because you're already traveling. You're traveling inside. It's interdimensional travel. But of course you still want to experience, but you don't have an attachment to the experience, which is why whatever your universe brings you is like, oh wow, I'm grateful for this too. Like it's an added bonus, and I'll take it. And usually the universe will bring you the best realities, the highest quality realities, because you found peace and serenity inside of yourself. So the people who ride their inner dragon, you will be able to detect them. They stand out from a crowd, because there's like this beautiful aura that they emanate, this beautiful it's like ease. It's ease is what it is. And when you're around them, you feel comfortable, you feel safe, you feel like you're not being judged. You feel like your phone can be on Do Not Disturb, you don't need to look at it. You're happy in that moment. All right? Now, some of us will still look at our phone after dinner, which is fine. I'm not here to judge anything or anyone. I'm just giving you guys examples of what it feels like to feel full from within. And it takes a lot of work. And I even have to catch myself sometimes, because I'm like, I wish I had this. And then I hear my guides interject, and they're like, Phil, you will have that, but find what it is within you that you're lacking that is still trying to chase that. Let that go. Give yourself more love. Extend more gratitude, more appreciation. But for the most part, thankfully, I'm good. I don't lack much. I'm happy. It doesn't matter if I have $5 or if I have $1 million. The only thing that may change is I'll be able to treat more friends. But it doesn't change what I wear. It doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change the substance of who I am. And with people who are operating with a 3D mentality, they'll always look for that next thing. And I personally can't be around that energy. I've tried to be like, to acclimate to that and to just accept, but I can't, because it's almost like going back to do the 3rd grade when you've already reached the 6th grade. And again, that's a linear concept. It doesn't make me better. It doesn't make them worse. I'm just explaining that, like, if you've learned lessons in life, you usually don't go back to them. You've graduated. So when I'm around people like that, and it reminds me of, it's very reminiscent of when I used to want more and more and more. It's like that envy, that competition, all of that. It's like, it brings me back to that time, and we're not going back there anymore. We're ascending. We're on an ascension timeline, moving to these highest dimensions, to the higher dimensional timelines. And so the more of us who ride our inner dragon, the more accessible that energy will be, that energy of peace, that energy, that rhythm even. And to me, the rhythm is the heartbeat of that new earth. It's the organic matrix system. It's the organic grid system. And you'll find that you have more ease connecting to that, because so many of us have been doing the work. All right, so I hope this helps. I hope that you be the best dragon rider you can be. And it's really fun when you ride your inner dragon, because, again, you create from inside. You're creating at a template level, and you don't have an attachment to the physical form. And because you don't have an attachment to the physical form, the best things happen to you. The best scenarios occur. And then the people who are still chasing the dragon will just know that they're exactly where they need to be. Their journey is unraveling as it's supposed to. And they will eventually awaken from their slumber, because every one of us will continue to awaken. This is the trajectory that we're on. And you cannot fight it because you signed up for it. We all signed up to evolve. And so even though we might ignore what's wanting to be tended to so that we may evolve, we'll eventually have to face it. We cannot bypass it. We cannot bypass anymore. So I hope that helps you guys. Surround yourself with people who are happy with where their life is, who are passionate, who are inspired, who are creating the best realities, who are birthing inspired ideas, who are easy to be around. That's key right there. All right? Love you guys.